Well, let's start. Hi, and welcome everybody to our talk about Lichtblick at BMW. We want to show you today, this is Chiraz Nafouki and myself, Jennifer Ras. We are product owners within the BMW group. And we would like to show you how we use the tool Lichtblick in order to turn data into insights and to dig into how this helps us to develop autonomous driving systems. First of all, who of you has heard of Lichtblick? A few. Who of you listened to our talk last year, because we were here already? Also some. Well, this year we will also present what Lichtblick is to get everyone on track, and then we will dive a bit deeper into how we use it, in which steps of the development cycle we use Lichtblick in order to enhance the development of autonomous driving. And now, let's start.
Yeah, so for those of you who do not know Lichtblick, what is it? Well, Lichtblick is an open source visualization and diagnosis tool for physical AI. It supports multimodal data sources, meaning that you can use it to visualize data from different sources. As you can see, for example, here, from LiDAR, from camera, and from map data. It also runs cross-platform, so it is not bound to a specific operating system or environment. Also, one important advantage of Lichtblick is that it is highly customizable. So you can adjust the view, for example, as you can see here, according to your needs and use case. And Jenny will show you later how it can be easily customized. Another thing to mention about Lichtblick is that it was forked from the previously open source tool Foxglove. So if you're familiar with Foxglove, you will notice some similarities, but at the same time, since its first official release in 2024, it has been continuously improved with new features based on the users' requests. Last but not least, it is available as desktop application as well as in web version, so you can install it on your machine or simply run it in your web browser. And if you want to try out Lichtblick after this talk, you have the QR code on the slide and the GitHub link, so feel free to try it out.
Well, what do we want to do with Lichtblick? What is our mission? We want to enable seamless access to automotive data, basically to everyone, anywhere, on any platform. So we want that we have one unified tool, and it is really easy to look into data. We don't want that, that autonomous driving developers need to learn how to use a tool or learn how to use a lot of tools, but we actually want to have one tool to analyze data, to really look into the data. And no matter whether this is in the car, and we have BMW test drivers who drive in the car, we have Lichtblick set up there, or on local machines, a lot of people prefer to install tools on their preferred local environment, or also in the cloud, we have Lichtblick available as web version. No matter where you are, what is your preferred environment, we want that Lichtblick is just basically one click away to look, or the data is just one click away, so you can dive into it and do your analysis. And here you can see a high-level overview of the development workflow in BMW. And we'll dive into those steps where Lichtblick comes into place. First of all, we start in the car. As I already said, we do have developers who drive. And those ones want to directly look at directly understand what does the car see, what does the car understand, not wait for later, but see directly in the car. We'll dive a bit into that one later in the talk, and Chiraz will give you an insight on that. Below the test fleet, you can see the customer fleet. Actually, for us, Lichtblick is a developer tool. We do not deploy it to BMW customer cars. Then, after having data collected, having data ingested, and for whatever criteria, we identified a scenario that needs some further scene labeling, we can easily use Lichtblick. We use a lot the web application here. It's deployed, and with our custom extensions, we can easily label scenes in Lichtblick. Coming to the next part, the simulator. So we do not only have the data that comes in from real drives, we also, of course, have simulated data. And also the simulator that we have at BMW, we actually debug using Lichtblick. So we can easily look into what does the simulator produce? Does it make sense? Is this, does it need improvement, whatever? And whenever this is done, we can start our reprocessing and retrainings, which result in a KPI report all on the top. For these reports, we often identify where are our spots where we need to dig deeper, what is not working that well so far. And then again, we dive into the analysis point, and there we use Lichtblick again. So here, again, we have the same tool, we have the same customer experience, and people can directly dive into what is interesting for them. Now, let's go one step back and think about customization. Chiraz already said we'll have a look at that, and that's one of the big strengths, I think, that Lichtblick brings. On the one hand side, there are extensions. Extensions in Lichtblick wording means that you can have like a plugin, and you can write the plugin so that it can understand your custom data. We do that a lot in BMW, so we have specific data, and that needs specific interpretation. We need to know how to read this data, basically. And coming with that, we can also design our custom panels. Lichtblick already, out of the box, understands images, can render 3D scenes, plots, raw messages. We look at that later in the live demo. But you can also write any kind of custom panel that you need for your data. And there are layouts. Layouts is more on how do we arrange the view, like do I prefer to have a bigger image, or do I need a big 3D panel, do I need to see some raw messages or something like that, and that's very easy with dragging lines to accommodate every need that is out there. What do we do in BMW to work with those extensions and layouts? We have a lot of people within our company who contribute and who write their own extensions that are customized to their data. And we also have the same for layouts. We have a central extension store and a central layout store, and a lot of people can contribute. And then we came up with a new concept, which is called workspace. A workspace is a combination of certain extensions and layouts, and the workspaces are normally perfect for one team. For example, let's take a lane detection team. They normally have certain data they are interested in, and they have certain extensions that can understand the data, that can easily visualize the data, and they also have layouts with it that nicely arranges those together, and they are clustered in a workspace. And then there are other teams who have other workspaces, and it's just, while you can see it here, you can just type and change the workspace whenever needed. So if you dive a bit into other teams' visualizations, but it helps to improve the performance, because when we had the approach we've previously had an approach to install a lot of extensions all at the same time, and that we ran into performance problems because we had so many of those. And now this is what really helped us. Well, and then let's come to the in-car use case, and we dive a bit into how we have Lichtblick directly in the car.
Yeah, so now we are going to have a deep dive into the in-car use case. So my role as a product owner for in-car visualization, it is important for me to enable our function developers to visualize Lichtblick, to visualize in the car directly using Lichtblick in real time. And this can be done easily because Lichtblick uses a WebSocket connection. And so you can think that this real-time visualization is possible not only for sensor data, but also for autonomous driving function output within the vehicle. So the users can simultaneously see the input data from, for example, cameras, sliders, and other sensors, and at the same time, see how their function is behaving in real time. And this enables much faster development cycles. Yeah, now we see the pipeline for the in-car visualization at BMW. So it starts with the logger, which captures the raw message from the vehicle signals, from the sensors, as well as from the function output. And our users configure which messages it is relevant for them, depending on which feature they are supporting, so they can see these messages directly in the car as they drive. And then these messages are being converted through a data converter that we call data bridge from raw message bus format to protobuf messages in real time too. And these protobuf messages are then streamed via WebSocket to Lichtblick, which enables visualization in real time. So it is important to emphasize that this whole pipeline runs live and directly in the car as the users are driving. Yeah, so now we come to an end for our presentation, and as a summary, Lichtblick is a centralized platform for data visualization, which enables users to promote development of autonomous driving technologies, whether it is in cloud, locally, or also in-car. It offers seamless integration with diverse data sources, and it enables users to have tailored layouts and extensions for specific project needs. Also, being an open source application leverages the high-quality contribution from the community, but also it helps to enrich the open source ecosystem and enable advancement in developing autonomous driving functions. Yeah, so now we will show you a short demo, live demo, so that you experience more what we have been talking about.
Oh, does this not work? Bubba. I think we need someone.
Oh, okay, I think.
No. Can we have someone from the... This one is working.
We tested it, but for some reason it's not.
To reconfigure the screens, so that if you have a second screen and this is only on the first one.
Ja. Ja.
Gleich kannst du auch den Link öffnen.
Welchen Link?
Von der Präsentation von GitHub.
Auf 1 anzeigen,
Ja, sehr gut.
Publizieren.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, we do a real life demo, so this is what happens if you do that. Okay, here you can actually see really our open source code. So this is the GitHub page. It's all open source. And if you scroll a bit down, we can try Lichtblick directly in the browser, and we'll do that now. I will use a local mcap file. But you can also try it with sample data. So this is basically how Lichtblick looks. If you have, if you look at the 3D panel, you can see here I opened the 3D panel with some data loaded. This is some example data. And here you can see we have a scene where a car is driving. Now it turns left. Let's assume I want to know a bit more. So I want to, for example, add an image panel. Click, it's there. I can configure which image I want, maybe not the back left, but let's say I prefer the front image. Okay, and there we go. Then maybe I additionally want to add the map, for example. Okay, I drive in Singapore. I can scroll a bit in, out. Okay, this is not really working here. Sorry. Oh, okay. Not so good, so I remove it again. I add, for example, let's say I'm interested in a certain message. I need to look into the details here. I take the diagnostics here. What do we have? For example, let's stop this for a moment. A brake sensor here. I want to look at this value. For some reason, I need to dive into it, but I have a plot here. And I can look at the plot, whatever signals are there. It's very, very easy and convenient to just add a panel, look at this, dive into this. And also the rearrangements. I want to also show you a bit how the layouts work. So what I can do is, for example, okay, I want to have the camera image here, so I just drag it there, it's there. So that's why it's so easy to use the tool. We also have one thing that I would like to show you. Let's assume we open another. I just opened the same thing once more. I put this here on the left and on the right. I have it now twice. And we have a feature where you can say here, sync on, sync on. The two tabs are synchronized. So I click play, and we see them play at the same time. This can help you if you load different kinds of versions of a model, for example. Very easy to compare how do the models behave, how do the software versions behave, no matter what system you have. And that is a very powerful and heavily used feature also. What is also very nice, for example, I can open the Explorer. We have a layout here, I drag it here, bam, it's there. So a layout is just a JSON file, to be honest. I can use it by drag and drop, pull it in, and I have it on my screen. And now I took it in here. You can now see I have on the Layouts tab up there, I can now see my start layout. I can also see the one that I just dragged in by drag and drop. Yeah, that's roundabout it, what we wanted to show. Let's go back to our presentation.
Yeah, so this was it from us. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question or would like to discuss with us, you can either discuss it now, of course, or you can also find us in the booth. Tomorrow Jenny and I will be in the booth, but also our colleagues are today also available at the BMW booth. So yeah, we're happy to discuss with you. Thank you.